Hey guys, we're doing well today. In today's video, we talk about the third game of the Tri-Nations between New Zealand and Argentina. So yeah, the game will be played at Bankwest Stadium within Sydney, so that means that both teams won't have the home advantage, which is kind of a given because the tournament is being played in Australia. And yeah, New Zealand are coming back from a loss against Australia within the last round, and yeah, I'm not going to say it was devastating, but yeah, they did lose, and obviously it does affect the Tri-Nations table, and it does make it a lot more interesting for the end, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes out. But yeah, New Zealand are coming back from a loss, and they'll definitely want to, get back to winning ways. And yeah, with Argentina, this will pretty much be their first taste of international rugby in a while. I think literally the last international game that they played was in the Rugby World Cup. So yeah, they haven't played in a long time. So this is going to be a big game for them, really. And yeah, they've actually played 2 games against an Australian XV, which is like players who almost made the Wallabies, but didn't, but they're still pretty good. And Argentina played them both, have played that side 2 times to my knowledge, and I believe that they've beaten them twice. The first one was like 19-15 to Argentina, and the second one was like 57-24. But you have to remember that within both of those games, it's like they played like different minutes, so it's obviously not going to be the same as the actual test game. So you can maybe look at that as not really being good information to go by, but at least it shows that they're ready and they've won their 2 games. But yeah, let's just go over the 2 starting lineups, and I'll just tell you what I think about them. So starting off with New Zealand, they've gone with at number 1, they've gone with Joe Moody. At number 2, they're going with Dan Coles. At 3, they're going with Tyrell Lomax. At 4, they're going with Patrick Piloto. At 5, they're going with Samuel Whitelock. At 6, they're going with Shannon Vizell. At 7, they're going with Sam Kane, who's the captain of the course, and at 8, they're going with Artie Sevilla. So I know it's a very interesting forward pack there. They've made a few changes with Joe Moody and Tyrell Lomax coming in for Offatino Fassi and Carl Tomafe, so that's pretty interesting there. And yeah, Dan Cole's also coming in for Cody Taylor, so they pretty much just, they've switched their whole front row, which is kind of a given because you could say it didn't work out as well, their front row, within the last game against Australia. I mean, it was, to my knowledge, I think it was the first time that New Zealand ever lost a scrum, from their own scrum in like a long time. Like, I think over 25 matches. So that's, it's ridiculous, really. And when that actually happens, you obviously have to make a change. So I understand why they're changing their front row, really. And yeah, with the locks, they have Patrick Tupiloto and Samuel Whitelock. So it's good to see that Tupiloto's back in the side, because obviously you had Scott Barrett within the last one. But yeah, Tupiloto's hopefully been rested, and yeah, in my opinion, I think he's probably the best lock that New Zealand has, so yeah, it's just good to have him back, really. And yeah, with the loose forwards, with Shannon Vizell, Sam Kane, and Artie Sevilla, you have Shannon Vizell, obviously replacing Akira Laoni, which, to be fair, I actually don't agree with. I kind of feel like Akira deserves a chance to actually play. He was subbed off early within that game last week against Australia. But that's not really, it wasn't due to his fault. It was only because they got a red card from Offatino Fassi, and they decided to switch him out for him. So I feel bad for him, really, because I really enjoyed watching him play, and I think he actually made a pretty good start to his to that game. Actually, he made a few decent tackles, but obviously he just had to be taken off. So yeah, it's unfortunate to see him within this side. He's not even on the bench as well, so I guess he's just being rested. But yeah, no, Shannon Vizell does take his place again, and yeah, he's solid, so I'm not really going to argue with that. And yeah, Sam Kane is at 7, which is kind of expected, really. He's been brilliant throughout all the games. And Artie Sevilla is at 8, which, yeah, to his credit, I think he kind of deserves to be at number 8. I don't really see anyone fitting into that slot yet. I mean, you have Hoskins Tutu, if you don't know. He was a youngster who's definitely up and coming in the All Blacks squad who can make a difference, but it's just not his time yet, I'd say. Like, he needs more of he can play some games, obviously, coming off the bench, but I don't think it's right now his time. It doesn't feel right for him to start this moment. But yeah, and for the backs, at number 9, they selected Aaron Smith. At number 10, they're going with Richie Moana. At 11, they're going with Caleb Clark. At 12, they're going with Jack Goodhue. At 13, they're going with Anton Brown. At 14, they're going with Jordy Barrett. And at 15, they're going with Bowden Barrett. So yeah, no, it's a very interesting back line there with New Zealand, with their selection. They've obviously switched a few players around, with Aaron Smith coming back in for into the starting lineup, and for TJ Perinar, who, to be fair, actually didn't make the impact that I thought he would. He is normally a second. He always makes an impact within that second half. So yeah, he's actually not playing within this match, but yeah, it's kind of expected really to see Smith back. He is probably New Zealand's best. He is New Zealand's best, scrum half. So that's kind of good to see him back within that slot. And yeah, Richard Molan as well. He's also been rested. He was rested for that last game, and he definitely deserved to be rested. After his amazing performance in the first game within Australia. So yeah, no, he's back within the side and obviously taking over Beauden Barrett's spot there. And yeah, it's kind of been shifted really. But yeah, with the wingers, you have Caleb Clark at 11, and you have Jordy Barrett at 14, which is kind of I can see why you would do that. It's not really, they haven't really made any changes there. They had Sever Reese, but obviously Caleb Clark's back in the side, so that's good to see. He definitely deserves to have a shot again. And yeah, with the centres combination with Jack Goodhue and Anslaughter Brown, they've obviously had to take out Rico and Liam Mbappe, which is kind of expected really. You had Anslaughter Brown last week, I think. Yeah, I think he was in last week. So yeah, it's a straight swap really, and I think Anslaughter Brown, Jack Goodhue works perfectly really. They've actually a lot of chemistry within that centre spot for the All Blacks, so that probably should work out. Should work out well. And then yeah, you have Jordy Barrett at 14. Like I was saying, he's just been, I'd say he's been very good. He's never had a bad performance, I'd say, throughout all these matches. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, with Beauden Barrett at 15, he is back within that 15 slot, which to his credit, he is actually pretty good at. But I would have personally liked to see Will Jordan, within the side. I think this was his time to actually, make a chance, fit into the All Black side. But obviously they're going with their best side, which is kind of expected after a loss. You don't want to lose 2 times in a row. But yeah, that's it with the starting lineup. Moving on to the bench, they've selected a few players with the likes of Curly Taylor, Alex Hodgman. They're going with Nepo Alala. They're going with the likes of Tupou Valai, who scored a try last week. They had Hoskins Tutu. And then they have Brad Weber, Rico Leone, and Damien McKenzie. So yeah, it's kind of expected really. They have a very strong team starting lineup as well as a bench. So yeah, all the people I can see here is kind of expected. I'd say the only one that I'm kind of shocked by is Will Jordan not being in the side, obviously. I say it again every video, but he should be within the All Black side. He should be starting, really, but anyway, I'll digress. So yeah, moving on to Argentina. At number 1, they've selected Nanyo Chaparro. At number 2, they're going with Julian Montoya. At 3, they're going with Francisco Gomez Cula. At 4, they're going with Gino Petty. At 5, they're going with Mateus Amalo. At 6, they're going with Pablo Matera, who's the captain of the side once again. And at 7, they're going with Marco Kremer. At 8, they're going with Rodrigo Bruni. So yeah, it's a pretty good 4-pack there. There's a few new names that I haven't actually seen before. You have the likes of Julian Montoya. I'd say Gino, who's brilliant within a hooker spot. I think he's one of the best hookers within the world, really. And that's my opinion, but I do think Julian Montoya is actually a very, very good hooker. So he's definitely one to watch out for within this game. And yeah, the 2 props. I've actually never heard of their 2 props, surprisingly. I think one of them is actually to my knowledge, I think one of them is an oldie. Now, I feel like I remember his name, the Francisco, but yeah, but moving on from the props. Hopefully they have a good game, really. But I think the All Blacks will probably beat them within the scrum, and that'll be one of the key areas that they would have focused on within this week. But yeah, with the, I love Gino Petty at lock. He's one of the best locks, I think, within the world as well. I mean, he's so criminally underrated for what he does for Argentina, and he's just, he's so good. I would take him within my side. Like, if I had to take the best locks within the world, I know this sounds pretty bad, but I would probably go with Atoje and Petty. That's what I would go with. I know it's like, you have the likes of Tupeloto, who I love. I'm a Blues fan, of course, and I'll definitely want to have him within my team. But Gino Petty, he's next level. So yeah, definitely a once-to-watch player in this match for Argentina. And then yeah, Mateus Amalo, I've heard of him also. He's a pretty decent lock. So he's had a few. He has a lot of experience within Super Rugby. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, Pablo Matera, he's, what can I say? Captain magnificent. Really, he's captained the Jaguares to the 2018 final, I believe. And yeah, he's just insane. I know he moved to France recently, and I think he's at, I might be butchering this. Is he at Racing maybe? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he's at Racing, but he's at one of the French clubs from the top, from the Pro 14. So, no, sorry, not Pro 14. top 14. Gosh, but yeah, no, it's yeah, it should be interesting to see how he plays because I actually haven't seen him play in a very long time, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, moving on from that, you know, with the number 8, yeah, with Marco Kremer, he's actually another player who I love to see, and he can actually play he can play within the locking positions or loose forward, so he's a great player to have, and he's young, so he's another one to look out for. And yeah, Rodrigo Bruni, he's a decent loose forward. I'm not really gonna talk too much about him. So yeah, moving on to the backs. At number 9, they're set to Thomas Kupeli. At number 10, they're going Nicolas Sanchez. At 11, they're going with Johnny Moff. At 12, they're going with Santiago Jaguares. 13, they're going with Mateus Orlando. At 14, they're going with Bastille Dingle. And at 15, they're going with Santiago Carias. So yeah, no, it's a very decent, I'd say, back line. You know, they don't have the likes of Bofelli, which is kind of sad to see because he's probably one of Argentina's best wingers / fullbacks, you know, they have. And he's just very useful because he's pretty much a utility back in a sense. But yeah, no, they have a few good players in there, you know, with the likes of Nicolas Sanchez controlling the 10 spot, and he's very dangerous, you know, he's very good in his kicking, so, you know, Argentina, I can guarantee you will be going for a lot of penalties, you know, with his kicking accuracy. And yeah, I kind of, you know, Santiago Jaguares, he's another youngster who's actually coming up the ranks within Argentina, and he's been very impressive. I've seen a few highlights of him, so yeah, hopefully he can make an impact within this game. As well as Santiago Carias, you know, he's another young winger who played for the Jaguares. I don't think he plays for them now, but yeah, he's another decent winger. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. And yeah, no, with Mateus the guy, you know, he's another decent winger really, and he's very good at sidestepping. That's one thing I've noticed from him. So yeah, definitely a one-to-watch player there. Yeah, Mateus Orlando. I mean, he's probably Argentina's best center. I mean, he's one of the key players within that back line for Argentina. He'll definitely be the playmaker, I'd say, within this game. Like if he has a good game, then I think Argentina will definitely create a lot of chances. But yeah, moving on to the bench, you know, where they have the likes of Bosch, they have Vidas, they have Madero, who's the other prop that I knew of, and I'm surprised he's not starting, but anyway. You know, they have the likes of Gondera, they have Lizana, they have Bertaguena, not Bertaguena, Bertayo, Clinty, and there's Salado. So yeah, no, it's a pretty decent bench there. I noticed a few names there. No, there's not really any big names compared to the likes of the All Blacks, but hopefully they can make an impact within that second half. So yeah, that's kind of it with the lineup. So just going off for prediction for this game, I do believe, I mean, it's kind of expected really, but I do believe the All Blacks will come back with a win. And I won't be surprised if this is a huge win, really. I mean, I kind of expect this to be like a... The thing is that I haven't actually seen Argentina play in a very, you know, and obviously not a lot of people have, so it's kind of, it's a weird one to actually make a prediction on, but if I just had to go off, like, just what I've seen from New Zealand so far within this comp, I'd have to say New Zealand will win this by a mile, and I'm going to say that they'll win this by, I'll say 32-15. That's what I'll go with. 32-15. Yeah, I think they'll win by that much. Yeah, 32-15 is my final prediction for the game. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.